Hey, good morning. It's Tuesday. We're going to continue a little bit of what we were talking about yesterday, which was the alcohol discussion. And I know last night or the night before, CBC called me and wanted some feedback on why a couple of the northern communities would stop the sale of alcohol, and also why they would institute some managed alcohol programs. So I explained that people who have alcohol addictions or alcohol dependencies can't just stop drinking. That will put them into withdrawal, and that can be life threatening. And the managed alcohol programs help control the amount of alcohol that people are actually getting. And that same issue is true in this part of the world too. Alcohol is a disinhibitor, so it certainly it relaxes us and takes away what we're worrying about, but it also removes some of the barriers that we've created for doing certain kinds of things. So uh, I'm, it's important to take a look at what's going on because people are drinking more and they are having more opportunities to drink, and they're starting to stockpile alcohol, which just significantly increases the possibility that you might drink more because it's, oh, hey, I got lots. So I've got a little uh, program here to take you through just to kind of look at some things. And again, we, there we go. Okay, so some more to think about. And, my usual questions uh, about checking our thinking, because how we think about stuff is really important. I think I've mentioned that a few times. So is what you're thinking true? Is it really true? And if you're looking at your alcohol use, how are you feeling or acting because of how you're thinking? So pay attention to that, because whatever we're doing, we find ways to justify, rationalize, make okay for ourselves. And then how would you feel or act if you thought differently? So here's some info. So this is from the Canadian Centre on Substance Use and Addiction, CCSA. If you want more information on this, there's tons of stuff on their website. I do lots of work with them and use their resources very, very frequently. So check your thinking. Alcohol consumption contributes to a wide variety of health problems that can weaken your body's immune system. So if you're worried about your health, if you're worried about how you're feeling or how you can protect yourself, alcohol doesn't help. High risk alcohol use reduces the body's ability to fight illnesses. So what's high risk use? Well, if we look at the Canadian low risk drinking guidelines, low risk is 2 drinks a day for a female, 3 drinks a day for a male, and two days a week with no drinking. And so if you're drinking more than that, and so 2 drinks is less than half a bottle of wine, 2 shots or 2 beer. 3 is just a little bit more than half a bottle of wine. 3 shots or 3 beer, or 3 coolers, those little cans of cooler. If you're drinking more than that, you are interfering with your health. Chronic high risk alcohol use weakens lung immune responses and increases the risk of developing respiratory illnesses, such as pneumonia and acute respiratory distress syndrome. And alcohol use does not stimulate your immune system, and it increases your natural resistance. So, what can you do to reduce your risks? So, what you can do to cope with stress and anxiety, like stay active, stay busy, and it doesn't have to be, doing backflips or running marathons, but get some decent exercise every day. Stay connected with friends and family, like talk to people. You don't have to go out. You don't have to socially interact in a physical presence, but talk to people about how you're feeling, talk to people about what's bugging you, and more important, talk to people about what's working for you, like what's getting better. Uh, Find a balance, like know what's going on in the world, but don't just watch the news. I do get a fair amount of enjoyment from watching like Seth Meyers and Jimmy Kimmel sort of analyze the news, because that kind of gives you the news, but makes you laugh while you're doing it instead of going, oh my God. Although some of the things that happen are like, oh my God things. Uh, get some sleep. We talked about that yesterday, like good solid sleep is important, and being on a routine is important. If you're really feeling like you're struggling, there's lots of help out there, and there's lots of free help out there. CACCF, the Canadian Addiction Counselors Federation, is offering free counseling. If you go on their website, you can sign up for that. We have online mental health support in the province. Most provinces do, so just like call your health line. They will connect you with resources that'll help you. There's a really good Canadian Mental Health Association has a coping with loneliness guide. I'll stick the links for this on somewhere that you can access them, because I know you can't click on them here, but they I'll stick them on in the underneath in the comment section, so you can click on those. Canadian low risk drinking guidelines are all laid out there. Canada's low risk cannabis use guidelines are laid out. And again, a strong reminder, both alcohol and cannabis are not useful for teenage brains. Lots of people like them, lots of teens like them, but they really get in the way of stuff. And right now, when one of the big things that we're doing is learning how to manage stress and changes, it's really important for teenagers to stay drug and alcohol free, so that they can actually learn how to do that. If they're getting high every day or drinking regularly, all they're doing to learn how to manage stress is to get higher drink, and that tends to not be particularly useful. And then the sixth one, well, the low risk cannabis use guidelines are also on there from CAMH, Canadian Centre on Addiction and Mental Health. And number 6, avoid stockpiling drugs and alcohol. We talked about that briefly. So that was lots about what not to do, but I want to talk a little bit about what we can do. If what we're doing isn't working, we need to do something different. In order to do something different, we have to think differently. We have to change our mindset about this stuff. We have to look for something that will help. Like, I get lots and lots of calls from people in degrees of distress. And sometimes one of the things that is really effective, and, if they're not in the, close to where I am and I can't actually interact with them, and this is even more true now when we're all kind of staying at home as much as possible, is I will say, okay, take a breath, go for a walk. And when people do that, and I'll arrange to chat with them after, when they do that, it makes a huge difference. And here is Thich Nhat Hanh talking about walking meditation. I am reading a couple of his books at the moment and realizing how brilliant this guy really is.
Intellectually, it's not difficult at all to understand all this. We know that the present moment is crucial, that we have to go home to the present moment in order to touch the wonders of life that are refreshing and healing and nourishing. But in order to do that, we need some training. Because our mind has already a habit of running to the future, or running to the past, especially to the future. We have the kind of fear, anxiety that is pushing us to leave the present moment in order to go to the future. And therefore, we should train ourselves. And the communities that is there around us is a big help. Because in the community there are those who are experienced in the practice. When they walk in such a way that can help them to be alive in the present moment. They walk in such a way that can radiate peace and joy. And when we see a person walking like that, we are motivated to do the same. And suddenly our steps become more peaceful, more free, and more solid. And we enjoy more every step we take. Walking meditation is a very wonderful way, a pleasant way to learn how to live deeply every moment of your life, your daily life. Because in walking meditation, every step brings you home to the here and the now. You are walking, but you already arrived. Where do you arrive? I arrive in the here and the now. That is my address. That is the address of my true home. That is the address of the Pure Land, of the Kingdom of God. So every step brings me home to the Pure Land, to the Kingdom of God, to the here and the now. And in that kingdom, in that Pure Land, in the here and the now, there are many refreshing, healing, and nourishing elements that I need to be in touch with. In walking meditation, we combine our breath with our steps. There is the practice of slow walking that you use when you are alone, especially when you are a beginner. When you take one in-breath, you make only one step, and you may say, I have arrived. I have arrived should not be a declaration or a statement. I have arrived should be a realization. You breathe in and you make one step, and you say silently, I have arrived. And you know that you truly arrive. Arrive where? Arrive in the here and the now. The one who doesn't practice is always running. They have run all their life. Their parents may have run all their life, and now the habit has become theirs, and we continue to run. We have never been able to stop and to enjoy every step we make. We should learn how to walk like a free person, free from the past, free from the future, free from our projects, our anger. And walking in freedom like that can bring us a lot of healing and joy and nourishment. I have arrived. Bring your attention to the sole of your feet. Touch the ground with mindfulness, as if you are kissing the earth. You invest 100% of your mind and your body into making a step. I have arrived. And if you are able to truly arrive, you know You don't need a Buddha to tell you that you have arrived or not. If you have truly arrived, the energy of running in you cannot push you anymore. And you enjoy making a step. You are a free person. You walk like a Buddha. I have arrived. I don't run anymore. That is an act of revolution. And then breathing out, you make another step. I am home. I have arrived. I am home. And you make a footstep on the ground. And if I look deeply into your footstep, which is something like a seal, I can recognize that you have truly arrived. You are feeling truly at home. So the practice should be true, should be successful. And if you make one step, saying, I have arrived, but you have not arrived to 100%, don't make another step. Stay in that position until you truly arrive before you make another step. You are.
So I really like that idea of like arriving, like being wherever you are is exactly where you are and exactly where you're supposed to be. And if we can teach ourselves that and stop, like he said, running into the future or running back into the past, we can start to get comfortable and we can start to get relaxed. So there's those 4 questions again. And so check how you're thinking, check how you're feeling, and start to practice something new, like a walking meditation, to help settle yourself. Because if you're unsettled, you will naturally look for something to fix. Anyway, have a good day. I'll be back tomorrow. Take care. Stop that. And I'm gonna stop that. Hey. And I gotta stop that.